What's up, you guys? It's your boy Miguel here to give you your daily dose of radiation. In today's video, we are covering what it's like to be a new Xray Tech graduate and you're willing to go work at a hospital or at one of your clinical sites that you were maybe training as a student. So, to give you context, I am a night shift Xray Tech. Been doing it for over 4 years, and I also dabble in day shift too. I work a lot of overtime, but I know when you're a student and you're transitioning, or even if they offer you a job and you're within that little realm of still student, not tech, there's stuff that changes. I still remember when I became a tech, as soon as you get put, or even if you're new to the place or it's the same place as clinical sites, everyone gets set to the same kind of standard, because maybe no one knows who you are. You're brand new, you're fresh. Most techs are always kind of skeptical at first, because you're either going to be going to do everything, willing to try, or you're shy and don't know how to do stuff, and you're still within that kind of, you're still not in the zone, as I call it, in your comfort zone to do stuff. And depending on the tech, some of them are more chill. The younger ones kind of understand you more because they just were recently graduated. And more of the veteran tech, some of them are more uptight and won't be as, I don't know how to explain it, but it is that little realm. I think it took me maybe a day, because where I work at, I've been a student. I was a student there, so I went to clinical, so I was pretty chill. The only thing I had to learn was how to do more of the computer stuff that I didn't learn as a tech, as a student. Besides that, it was a pretty easy transition for me. I was quite fortunate and lucky. I know some places they offer contracts or sign-on bonuses. So depending on if you were a student and you saw how everything was, maybe the sign-on bonus, you're it's a good place to work, I'll sign it. But for other places, usually if they offer sign-on bonuses, it's usually because they can't keep people. And usually the sign-on bonus is for a year, 18 months, 6 months, I'm not sure, depending on where you work at. They offer you a difference, because they'll give you a lump sum of money or they'll give you partial. And certain places, if you don't finish the contract or you quit or whatever happens, if you get terminated, you have to give that money back. That's something to consider. Just putting that out there. I remember as a student going in, no one would tell you what the pay was. You could kind of have an idea, but no one would set a set number. My recommendations for anyone new to the field, whatever you're thinking, make sure you shoot it a little bit higher. Because if you lowball, they will take you on that lowball. And then you'll find out that the base pay that they were willing to pay was a little bit higher. So always try to negotiate for a little bit of money, because it's harder to negotiate later on than it is at the beginning. So always do that first. So all the computer stuff, that will be pretty easy to learn. I mean, regardless of where you go, it's kind of the same thing. It's like PACS, the PACS system, and then whatever, we use Epic. You'll have to get all your credentials signed in. So it'd be 1-2 days of just learning all that, how to cancel, it's just a little learning phase that happens when you're working. So you won't be as efficient. But as long as you're willing to go out there, follow the techs, and just get stuff done, and be careful as far as how much talking and stuff goes with your personal life, because it will be quickly. I've noticed that most places, a lot of gossiping, a lot of people tend to say things. Me personally, I'm very antisocial, so I keep to myself for the most part. And I've been able to keep a pretty good relationship with both night shift and day shift, and I'll stay pretty neutral. But there's other people I've seen that get into beefs or arguments within each other, and it causes problems at work. And, at the end of the day, you're just here to push the button, save people, go home. Like, it shouldn't be nothing like that. But I will say that when you are brand new starting off, you always got to be careful, because some of the more older techs well, I guess it depends on where you work at, take advantage-ish, but like you feel more pressured to do more work just so you can kind of prove yourself in a way-ish, I guess. But then later on, because you're still like students, still learning, you may keep, even in your earlier, if you're doing stuff together with other techs, if you're still kind of new, they'll kind of question you a little bit more. In some places, it's fine, because you're still transitioning, because maybe certain doctors are more picky, or maybe certain stuff has to be done a certain way before. Because there's a lot of stuff that I remember it took me probably 3 months even working at an establishment to be pretty well versed in all the knowledge. Even to this day, I'm still learning stuff, but like, just so we wouldn't have to go to a repeat, so you don't get in trouble. So don't take offense sometimes if they're like, hey, we need to do this again, or hey, this is not the best picture, let's do it like this. There's a lot of tricks and stuff. So there could be some, good knowledge that they could be trying to give you. So don't always take offense to it, but sometimes they are like nitpicky and will be a little bit more. Because like now, if we shoot something, I've been doing it for like a good amount of years. Like, I won't get questioned. Occasionally we'll look at it and we'll be like, maybe we could do a little bit better. Or like some of the older techs like, what if we try this? What if we try that? But, it's kind of your situational basis on that. Let's see what else. I know a lot of the times when you're the brand new tech, just even your PTO situation, depending on, like, everyone gets a certain amount of PTO. And when you apply for certain days, some of the more veteran techs will kind of get first dibs. Like, if you took off and another veteran tech took off, depending on how your coverage or the whole thing like that, they will usually give the days off to the veteran tech just because they've been there longer compared to you who are brand new. So always keep that in mind. At some other places, maybe they have a lot of coverage. Maybe that doesn't matter. So that's just something that I learned. Or even my position at night shift, it's more harder for us to take off a lot because we're 7 on, 7 off. So we're only allowed, I think, to take off only like a week, because technically you get 3 weeks off. So if you took like the regular 2 weeks off of work, you'd be off like a whole month. So at certain places, maybe it'll be harder to find coverage, or it would be harder for them, So there's stuff that as you work and you learn, it makes, the job a little bit more easier. But overall, I mean, it's really not that bad. It's just getting the few jitters out of the way. I know that our biggest concern, I remember, when you're brand new, is like making sure you don't get in trouble by the radiologist. Or, I mean, it kind of depends. Like, my manager's pretty cool, and I knew him since I was a student. So, like, I wasn't as worried about getting in trouble with, like, upper management stuff, just because I've been there and I kind of get the vibe and understood how to do stuff. But I know that even talking to some of the radiologists, it could be a little bit nervousing anytime they call and stuff like that. But over time, you'll get over it. And it'll just be a simple, hey, you mismark it. Hey, you accidentally send the images upside down or something simple like that. But occasionally it'll be like, hey, this is a pretty bad image. You need to redo it. And always stand up for yourself. Like, I know certain doctors are literally assholes. I've witnessed in our department some of our older techs get cussed at, get yelled at, and I'm like, I'll just be there because I didn't pick up the call, but I'll be listening. And I've seen techs cry, and I'm like, damn, like it should have never been like that. It should have been like, hey, can you just redo this? Or hey, why haven't you done this? Like, it shouldn't have never gotten so verbal. So always, obviously don't start a whole argument and don't, go back against a doctor. Just like, reach out to your supervisor or just kind of note it. And because I know some of the doctors can be intimidating, or some of the exams, there's like a limit of what you can do, and you kind of got to gauge when you can modify the exam based off of the patient or even the doctor, which some of that comes with time. But always, at the end of the day, you're just here to take images. It shouldn't be a hostile environment and like fighting and stuff like that. So that's something, that could be useful to anyone. But that's kind of all the tips and advice I have for anyone joining our field as early. And also, as long as the radiologist doesn't pick up the X-ray, you can fix it without getting other people involved. But the only thing you can't fix if you shoot the wrong person, and you can't take back that. But everything else can be fixed. But even if it gets red, there is ways to fix it. You just have to involve upper management and radiologists, and it depending on how bad you messed up, it could cause problems, or it can just be more of a hassle. But everything else can be fixed. But yeah. And if you're worried about working night shift, I would always give it a shot to see how you do. A little bit of ease and more money could never hurt anyone. As a student, I remember I didn't want to work night shift, and that's what I got into it. And looking back at it, it was the best decision of my life. I'll probably never work day shift full time just because of the experience I've had. But I mean, I'll do it for overtime, but it's something you should consider, and even dabble a few shifts to see how you would do. And yeah, it's been your boy Miguel. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and hope I educate you a little bit in the world of radiology. You can check out my channel. I post videos on all aspects of this field, and we'll see you on the next one.